These are the most horrifying episodes from Rick and Morty. 9. The horror of sinister clones.
If you don't, the schmutz tries and makes the dish harder to clean.
The episode Night Family delves into the fear of losing control over oneself and the terrifying consequences of that loss.
The Night Family stripped the house last night. Everything's gone, including the somnambulator.
The episode follows Rick
What are you doing?
as he develops a machine that allows the Smith family to get a full night's sleep while their night selves continue working, ensuring they can accomplish more without the constraints of rest. However, this well-intentioned invention quickly turns into a nightmare when the night versions of the family members become violent and uncontrollable, leading to chaos and fear.
If you have any doubt, I suggest you sleep on it.
The true horror of Night Family lies in the disturbing concept of a separate, malevolent version of oneself existing without conscious awareness. The Night Family operates autonomously, carrying out tasks with eerie efficiency, and their behavior grows progressively more sinister as they are left unchecked. What makes this concept particularly frightening is that these night selves are an extension of the family members' own identities, but without the filters of morality, empathy, or self-restraint. This idea plays into the fear that our worst impulses are lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the right circumstances to emerge. The scariest aspect of the episode is the idea that we have little control over our own subconscious. The Night Family embodies the darkest aspects of each Smith family member, and they are free to act on impulses that the conscious self may suppress or repress. The moment when the family realizes their night selves are working against them is a stark reflection of the horror of confronting the possibility that our hidden, unacknowledged selves could become more powerful and dangerous than the person we consciously present to the world. The horror is both psychological and existential, exploring how much of ourselves we truly control. Yikes, I sure wouldn't want my own night version at all. 8. The horror of getting assaulted.
Please! Stop being such a tease, you sweet little twat!
The moment when Mr. Jellybean assaults Morty in Rick and Morty's Me Seeks and Destroy stands out as one of the most disturbing and jarring scenes in the show, that too within the very first season.
Hello. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Mr. Jellybean, a seemingly innocuous, cartoonish figure with a smiling, childlike appearance, initially seems harmless. However, when he assaults Morty, his sudden, unprovoked aggression exposes the dark side of the show's universe and taps into deep fears of vulnerability, trust, and unexpected violence. What makes this moment so terrifying is the stark contrast between Mr. Jellybean's cheerful appearance and his sudden, sinister behavior. Bro was definitely tapping into his Diddy vibes here, and the scene would have felt a lot worse if he had a scarier appearance. As viewers, we are conditioned to trust the characters that look non-threatening, especially in an animated comedy. Mr. Jellybean's wide smile, bright colors, and playful mannerisms create a sense of comfort, only for that comfort to be violently shattered when he awakens the diddler. This subversion of expectations creates a sense of dread, as we realize that even the most seemingly benign characters can turn monstrous without warning. The fear is also amplified by Morty's vulnerability. He is physically overpowered and helpless in the situation, a theme that underscores the episode's broader anxiety about power dynamics and control. Morty is trapped in a world where danger can come from anywhere, and this assault reflects the harsh, chaotic nature of the Rick and Morty universe, where no one is truly safe. The randomness of the violence, especially in a show known for its dark humor, adds to the horror, making it not just a personal violation of Morty, but a violation of the show's inherent rules. In the context of the episode, this attack serves as a brutal reminder that nothing in the Rick and Morty universe is safe or predictable.
Can't leave now, Morty. I'm on fire.
Look, I want to leave now. You win the bet, okay?
7. The horror of humanity's dark side.
Whoa! They are purging the fuck out of each other.
The episode Look Who's Purging Now is unsettling because it uses the concept of the purge, a night where all crime, including murder, is legal, as a backdrop to explore humanity's darker, more primal instincts.
Not anymore. Oh my god, this is fucking awesome.
The movie's success definitely led to a lot of loosely inspired ideas, but who would have thought we'd see it in the form of cartoonish cat people? While on a mission to a distant planet, Rick and Morty encounter a society where every year the inhabitants engage in an organized purge of all their violent impulses. At first, it seems like a satirical take on the Purge movies, but the episode quickly becomes frightening as it unearths uncomfortable truths about human nature and society. The horror in Look Who's Purging Now comes from the brutal violence and the ease with which people descend into barbarism when given permission to act out their most savage desires.
Morty, I don't want to be a little help guy, but a little help. A spoon, Morty? A spoon?
I'm sorry!
There's a pile of silverware next to you, and you throw me the one thing that can never kill anything?
What is particularly chilling is how ordinary, civilized people, who might otherwise seem peaceful and rational, become remorseless murderers the moment they're given a free pass to kill. This taps into a deep fear that beneath the surface of everyday civility lies a dormant, violent side that, if unleashed, could destroy not just individuals, but society as a whole. The episode suggests that violence is never far from the human psyche, and that societal norms can easily be torn apart by unchecked impulses. The contrast between the bright, seemingly utopian world of the planet and the horrific actions of its inhabitants also plays into the terror. The setting, filled with cheerful music and a festival atmosphere, feels like an idyllic paradise, only for it to quickly devolve into a dystopian nightmare. The suddenness of this transition emphasizes the fragility of civilization, and the horror lies in the realization that given the right conditions, people could easily turn into monsters.
Hey, have a good festival, old-timer.
I intend to.
Ultimately, the episode is a terrifying commentary on the potential for violence within us all, and the fear that society's thin veneer of order could collapse at any moment. 6. The horror of time travel and reality splitting.
Is the world gone? Where are Mom and Dad?
Mom and Dad, get your head out of your family's ass.
Okay, this one is terrifying, not just because of its mind-bending plot, but also due to its exploration of the fragility of reality itself. In this episode, Rick, Morty, and Summer accidentally split time into multiple realities, causing the fabric of existence to unravel in chaotic and unsettling ways. The horror in this episode lies in the psychological terror of dealing with fractured timelines, and the existential fear of losing all sense of control over one's actions and fate. At its core, the episode portrays the fear of losing stability in the most fundamental aspects of life.
What's happening?
Time is falling apart. We've got to get back to certainty quick.
Time and reality. The characters struggle to understand the true nature of their universe as they bounce between alternate timelines, unsure of what's real and what's not. This breakdown of reality is particularly horrifying because the characters are essentially trapped in an infinite number of alternate versions of themselves, none of which can be definitively proven to be the real one. The unsettling idea that there could be countless parallel versions of oneself, each with slightly different experiences and choices, raises the terrifying question: if reality can be so malleable, how can we ever know who we truly are? The episode builds a sense of dread as the consequences of splitting timelines become increasingly dire. Reality itself starts to collapse, and characters experience the terrifying realization that their very existence could be wiped out by something as abstract as a split second of indecision. The ticking clock, the increasing instability, and the constant question of whether or not they are still in the true timeline creates a tense, claustrophobic atmosphere. In A Wrinkle in Time, the horror doesn't come from monsters or gore, but from the unnerving notion that time and reality are fragile constructs, ones that once fractured might never fully heal. The episode's existential themes and reality-warping events leave the viewer with a lingering sense of unease, questioning the stability of their own world. 5. The horror of society's decay and moral ambiguity. The Ricklantis mix-up. The Ricklantis mix-up, which is also known as the Citadel of Ricks, is one of the most ambitious and chilling episodes of Rick and Morty if you ignore the surface humor.
Morty's our human! Get the car, you rickless animal!
This is because it takes viewers deep into the Citadel, a city populated entirely by alternate versions of Rick. The episode explores the terrifying reality of a society where Ricks are in power and Mortys are oppressed.
I don't see a divide between Ricks and Mortys.
Oh, shocker.
creating a dystopian world where corruption, violence, and moral decay run rampant. The horror of the Ricklantis mix-up lies in its exploration of social structures and the dark consequences of infinite iterations of the same person. The Ricks of the Citadel are not portrayed as noble or heroic, but as flawed, selfish, and power-hungry individuals who have created a society that mirrors the worst aspects of human civilization. The episode is a brutal commentary on the dangers of absolute power, the corruption that comes with it, and the dehumanizing effects of treating others as disposable.
Is that enough off the top?
Don't know. Is it?
The horror in this episode is not just physical, but deeply psychological. The citizens of the Citadel are trapped in a cycle of violence and exploitation, and there seems to be no escape. The episode culminates in the tragic death of an innocent Morty, who is sacrificed to maintain the status quo of the Citadel. The overwhelming sense of nihilism in this episode is chilling, as it suggests that no matter how many versions of Rick and Morty exist, they are all ultimately doomed to repeat the same mistakes and perpetuate the same horrors.
Stupid. We're done with the Citadel of Ricks. I was never on board with it in the first place.
The horror of regret and the simulation of choices. The Vat of Acid episode. At first glance, the Vat of Acid episode seems like a straightforward comedy about Rick and Morty getting into trouble with a vat of fake acid.
What part of a fake acid vat with built-in air supply and quick-release bones isn't inventive enough for you?
However, the episode takes a dark turn when Rick presents a machine that allows people to relive their past mistakes and undo them by inserting themselves into a simulated reality where they can make different choices.
Oh shit, suicide by cop. I love these.
The true horror comes when the machine malfunctions, and the characters are forced to confront the consequences of their actions. The episode is scary because it explores the concept of regret in an existential way. What happens when we can't undo our mistakes? When the machine malfunctions, Rick and Morty are forced to confront the reality that they can't change the past or avoid the consequences of their actions.
No, there were definitely consequences.
What are you talking?
The horror in this episode is rooted in the idea that we are all trapped by our past decisions, and no matter how much we may wish to escape them, we can never truly undo them. In a larger sense, the Vat of Acid episode explores the terrifying idea of a universe that doesn't allow for second chances. It's a reminder that our choices matter, and the consequences of those choices are often irreversible.
Well, I'm stumped. Seems like there's no way out of this one.
While the episode plays with humor and absurdity, it also makes a chilling commentary on the human desire to escape responsibility and the fear of being unable to correct our mistake.
We are who we are because of consequences. You can't live without consequences, you know? You feel me?
3. The horror of infinite realities. The Ricks must be crazy. Yay, this one presents an unsettling vision of a multiverse composed of infinite layers of simulation.
Inside that container is an infinite universe capable of generating massive amounts of power. I call it a miniverse.
Rick has created a miniature universe inside his car battery, and when the battery malfunctions, Rick and Morty must venture inside to fix it. However, once inside, they discover that the miniature universe has its own inhabitants who have created yet another universe inside of theirs to generate energy for the next level. This recursive loop of worlds within worlds is a terrifying concept.
Yeah, but I mean, like, energy-wise? Anyone working on, say, a little universe in a box?
How do you know about that? It's top secret.
Raising questions about the nature of existence and the potential for infinite, unknowable realities. The horror in this episode lies in the concept of recursive world.
So he made a universe, and that guy is from that universe, and that guy made a universe because I was working on my universe.
And the idea that each layer of reality is built upon the suffering and exploitation of others. The beings inside Rick's car battery are unaware that they are merely part of an endless chain of simulation, creating energy for their creators without knowing that they are being exploited for their own survival. This theme is a direct commentary on the existential horror of living in a universe that may be a simulation, where the suffering of others could be meaningless to the higher powers that control everything.
Morty, gotta flip him off. I told him it means peace among worlds. How hilarious is that?
The terrifying implication here is that we could all be part of an infinitely larger system, each of us trapped in our own little reality, unaware of the deeper layers of existence that control us.
Mother... That's all you are! I made you! Your microverse sucks!
The horror isn't just the fear of being trapped in a lower layer of reality. It's the fear that we might not matter at all in the grand and different scope of the universe.
You guys are the worst! Your gods are alive! You! You're
2. The paranoia of identity and memory. Here, the Smith family finds themselves trapped in their own home by a shape-shifting parasite that implants false memories into their minds.
Here, Rick, use me!
Oh, thanks, Pencilvester! Yeah, I guess that is what happened.
Making everyone in the family question who is real and who is not. The episode plays with the concept of memory, identity, and the horror of losing oneself in a world where nothing is ever truly certain. The episode is terrifying in its portrayal of how easily our perceptions of reality can be manipulated.
The barbecue?
Wait, why would you want me to? You're one of them, aren't you?
Remember the barbecue! Remember the barbecue!
The idea that an alien parasite can alter your memories to make you believe in false experiences is an unsettling commentary on how fragile our grasp on reality is.
Is anyone here even real? Am I the only real person on Earth?
Maybe.
The characters are forced to contend with the horrifying thought that they might not even know themselves anymore. The humor in this episode comes from the absurdity of the situation.
No! Shoot! Now look, it's like a Where's Waldo page. Can you find me?
But beneath that humor is a deep sense of paranoia, with the characters trapped in an ever-growing web of lies and confusion.
Paranoid, Rick. You've been paranoid since Knob.
So what are you gonna do when you rotate back to the world, Frankenstein?
The horror in Total Recall is emotional and psychological, with the fear stemming from the fact that no one, including the audience, can trust what they see.
Master Rick, remember when you weren't going to shoot me?
The parasite's ability to plant false memories makes it impossible to distinguish friend from foe, which is a deeply disturbing thought.
Now let's go, Morty. We've got a lot of friends and family to exterminate.
The episode culminates in a bloody and chaotic battle that emphasizes the fragility of personal identity, making it one of the most horrifying episodes of the series.
Everybody remain calm. This is gonna take some explaining.
We need to kill everyone that we can only remember fondly.
1. Rixie Business. In Rixie Business, Rick and Summer throw a wild party at the Smith household.
Summer, you can't have a party. Because I'm having a party.
Which spirals out of control. Initially, the episode seems like a pure comedy as the house becomes overwhelmed with interdimensional beings and parties.
Is there a good place for me to squanch around here?
Squanchy, you can squanch wherever you want, man. Mi casa es a su casa.
However, the deeper horror lies in the chaotic implications of Rick's reckless behavior. The party gets increasingly out of hand, and the horror arises from the realization that Rick, a genius inventor, doesn't care about the destruction and moral collapse surrounding him. The most unsettling aspect of this episode is the lack of consequences for Rick's actions.
We'll be fine. Let's party!
While chaos and disorder ensue around the family, the show hints that Rick's behavior reflects an ongoing existential crisis, the nihilistic belief that nothing matters. The party, which could have been a fun, carefree event, becomes a metaphor for how everything is temporary and replaceable. The lack of remorse Rick shows for the destruction he's caused is deeply disturbing because it showcases his inability to respect the boundaries of reality.
Well, at least he didn't die in vain. These babies just saved this lame-ass party!
Ultimately, the horror comes from realizing that Rick's actions and the party itself symbolize a larger, uncaring cosmos.
Can't we just pretend like everything's fine for a few hours, enjoy ourselves, and then worry about all this later?
A terrifying, chaotic world where nothing has permanent meaning. The existential dread presented here taps into the fear of a world where free will and personal responsibility feel meaningless.
All right, everybody, party is officially over. Rick, take us home now.
Do you agree with me on this? Let me know in the comments if you want to see another topic. Okay then, see you in the next one.